Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, P Farm, thinking right out here in my lab what I do for you. We wrapping the book up. We at the end, dog. This is a statuette of my yacht. One of the highly decorated things you can do in the ancient Egyptian concept. So let's talk about it, right thinkers? I got a nice little lesson for you today. I'm back in the book. That's what you need. Okay, let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. I got a message in my stories for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, I'm on it. It's to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of obtaining, reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is to get all right thinkers to know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. It's rhetorical, but if you have an answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. That's what I do for you. I'm spiritual alarm clock. I'm here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do. Excuse me, for you. And a person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to my yacht, be true. And this was the highest form that you can give anybody. That's my yacht. Okay? You see her? In all glory. Now, we at the back of the book where we do an appendix. I done sent you through 1 and 2. You're going to do 3, 4, and 5 because they're pretty short, but it's informative, just a little bit tidbit of information. So you know how I do. Let this lesson go. All right. This is titled The Philosophy of Righteous Action, Social Order, and the Spiritual Upliftment of what? Humanity in our ancient Egypt and even in India. They pretty much borrow each other's philosophy interchangeable. So they did pretty much the same thing, just a different way, like everything else. It was all to raise your consciousness to become one with God. So however you allegoricalize it, mythologicalize it, philosophicize it, it's still all the same place. Simple as that. However you get there, you see at the bottom. Everybody start out down here. Ain't but a few at the top. That's the cycle of life. That's the fact of life. Simple as that. The base is where you want to be. Okay? Don't worry about how many people got there. No. How many people need to know where you land. I got mine. I'm trying to show you how to get yours. These are things you need to understand to do just that. Okay, let's go. Now, for any society, and I make this point because you just put the Captain Chaos in the driver's seat, and already he pulled the stops, and everything is just going straight to hell. Okay, get ready. It's just beginning. It's just beginning. But you asked for this. I ain't gonna talk about that nonsense. But this is how you can. If we live my yacht, this time ancients avoided that nonsense. I watch this. Now, for society, a philosophy of righteous action from the top, which will promote social order and harmony. We don't have that. This guy ain't promoting nothing. Excuse me. And it's essential to what? Creation of a civilized community. He got the whole country. And for what? Survival of the population as well as the prosperity of the country. We are not going to prosper. We're not going to come together as a people. We're not going to do nothing that's constructive and positive under this bad leadership. We have a criminal in charge of justice. Really? Get back to the lesson so I can make the person. I'm so annoyed. But the harmony and the prosperity is the basis which allow what your higher spiritual study and your practice to what to take place and for a culture to grow. We have to become intellectually or spiritually enlightened to be better people. We ain't nowhere near that. A society wherein, listen, we live in this what we had ancient time. This is what I'm talking straight to you about Maya. A society where we're in discontent and unrest distract people, obstructs them from what? From obtaining the higher philosophy of what? Self-discovery, knowing thyself. When y'all say self-discovery, I say know thyself. It's the same thing. And everything you say about that, I agree 100%. So what's the problem? The sages, again, the sages and saints. Sage put the work in and learning the hard way. The saints did it the easy way. They just followed suit and they just made it work. I have no problem with that at all. But sage and saints of our ancient Kemet introduced, listen, and perfected a philosophy that they call Maya. Bam! Now, watch this. They perfected it first, but these teachings influenced the creation of what? Regulation for righteous conduct in the Greek philosophy. They taught the Hinduism, they taught Judaism, even Chinese philosophy, Christianity, and Islam, as all of these people had contact with ancient Egyptian philosophy. I'm just saying, I like this. Listen, I keep telling you, I'm trying to explain to you, this is the goods. Excuse me. Because you're a Christian, because I don't give a good rat's butt. This is the goods. I'm just explaining to you. If you want to believe something, that's your prerogative. I choose to get the goods. I ain't got to believe. I can make this known for myself. And right here, it shows you the 4 categories. I'm about to break that down for you. You see that? Maya at the top. We started this philosophy. Again, a philosophy, not a religion. A philosophy meaning we're going to practice this as a way of life. Y'all called it a religion. I understand the purpose and get it, so I ain't going back and forth with that nonsense playing the word etymology. Stop with that. Okay? That's a philosophy that you can practice. Watch this. The Commission concept of Maya. We're being nice at 5,000 BCE. You go back 5,000 years, add on 2 here, that's 7,025 years. And I'm practicing it today. And guess what? I can smack any religious concept you got to the ground. Why? I got the goods, okay? In Hinduism, Buddhism, which is out of India, they started a Dharma. Know when it was started? 800 BCE. What were they doing before that? Following Maya. So they figured out a few things their way. Like I said, I followed it at a certain point. I called it the right thing. Why? Because I put the persons in, we use that mythological, allegorical people. I use me as an example. My dad, anybody I can to get the point across. Like Malcolm said, by any means necessary, I'm just teaching, moving on. And Hinduism came in 800 BCE. Jewish, Hebrews, 10 Commandments. You know when they 1000 BCE. Y'all didn't do nothing slick. You just jumped on the bandwagon and created your own, which is fine. Spin-offs is fine. It's no problem at all. Then you got your Chinese Confucian and the Taoism. When I say Tao, it's spelled Taoism. I don't say Taoism. Chinese and the Egyptians flip-flop their D's and T's. I keep making that point because I hear people say the Tao. I said, yo, my man, didn't nobody tell you? You didn't get the memo? The T is the D sound in China, and the D is the T sound in Egypt. The Tuat, okay? Tahuti. Those are all D enunciations, but it's pronounced with the T sound. So I just wanted to get that out. Sorry about that. I'm adamant about certain things. They brought that around in 500 BCE. All this was before Christian, the Christian era, before y'all Christ come along. We were doing this a long time, okay? But now, speaking of Christianity, okay, the Beatitudes, this is the Roman Catholics concept, okay? Know when it came in? 0 BCE. And I was watching Neil deGrasse. I love something from that guy every time I watch him. And the reason why we have no 0 days, years, right? You know why? Because the Roman Catholics didn't have a 0 in the numerical order. How about that? And they were the ones who write the stuff, so they had control over it without no 0 years. But let's get back. Those are all concepts that everything comes from my people in Egypt, Mayat. Now, Mayat represents a very order which constitutes what? Creation. Remember, in the story of creation, this is what we call cosmic order. Therefore, it is said that Ra, the supreme being, created the universe by what? By putting Mayat in place of what was there before. Chaos in the noon. We needed some order. Mayat handled that. Okay? He was like the Mission Impossible guy. When he got the job to create creation, he went through the folder to see who he needed. This is how he pulled out. Start out with Mayat. Hoo-yah, Tahuti. Get the concept. If you're the Mission Impossible fan, you would get that. If not, you're like, what the hell are you talking about? But yeah, that's where he comes from. And I love that idea. Watch this. But he would put Mayat in place of chaos. The Bible called it the abyss, okay? We called it the noon. But before anything was happening, that's what it was in darkness. And what happened? So when creation itself pretty much is what? Based on Mayat. For the time he said, let there be, Mayat was in effect. And everything had what they call duality. Pairs, equal opposites. But remember, equal opposites. If I got 5 pounds of shit, 5 pounds of gold, ain't they equal opposites? It's still 5 pounds. Now the value ain't come out the value. We talk about what it is. That's the concept. I'm trying to get you to understand with Mayat. That's all it is. You using both sides of your brain. Don't tell anybody. Yeah. Well, no, it's the way you think. Equilibrium. You got 2 hemispheres. You're supposed to use them balanced. I hope I'm making my point. Going through this now. What happened? Now, Mayat, creation without order is chaos. Like we got in the White House right now. When you got no order, you got chaos. Hence, Captain Chaos. Moving on. Anything's possible. Oh, and you'll worry. You'll see. Mayat is, watch this, is therefore a profound teaching in reference to what? Nature. The nature of creation. And the manner in which human conduct should be cultivated. Right there. Now, listen to this closely. It contains a cosmic as well as a worldly implication. It refers to a deep understanding of what? Divinity, God, and the manner in which virtuous and righteous qualities of the individual can now be developed to its highest level in human heart, so as to what? Now come closer to divine. Calm down. We teach, she's showing you how to get to God. Practice me and you'll get to him. And that's what Christ said, come to me, only way to get to the Father. She wasn't bragging about that, but she said, listen, these are things that you can do to find out for yourself. And watch this. Now, if we practice Mayat philosophy, we wouldn't have a criminal in the White House. Mayat is a philosophy, a spiritual symbol, as well as a cosmic energy force, which pervades the entire universe. Everybody worshiped the sun. Why? It brought light. It brought nourishment to them. It brought heat, all that. So they knew that wasn't God. It's the Son of God. The Son, S-U-N, not S-O-N. Misinterpretation of that whole philosophy took y'all way the wrong way. You're still going the damn wrong way. Because you're too ignorant to realize, well, maybe you think? After 2,000 damn years, you ain't figured out you're going the wrong way yet? Come on, man. Bugs Bunny didn't take that long to feel like he should have been left out of Albuquerque. Mayat is personified by what? The goddess of divinity. She's pure good. Nothing bad. She is the symbolic embodiment of world order, justice, righteousness, correct action, harmony, reciprocity, and above all, peace within oneself. You practice those things, you master those things, you will have self-mastery, and you will have the key to what? The next life. Do it. That's the last stop. This is the stop before that. If you don't get it right here, you can't go there. Moving on. And she is also known by what? Her headdress is composed of a feather, and that feather don't move, which symbolizes what? The qualities that we just mentioned. She is a form of the goddess Aset. Why? Because she represents wisdom and spiritual awakening through what? Balance and equanimity of the thought. That's intuitive knowledge. This stuff that's going on up here that you got to your disposal. If you can raise your consciousness to get there, meditate, meditate, meditate. Why? It opens up the next realm of mental concepts, consciousness. Raise it. It ain't all about the physical body. I tell anybody, I take you from the neck up. Well, I don't need the rest of you. Okay? I ain't physical, I'm mental. It's all mental. The 7 Hermetic principles, again, another lesson. Let's go. I got to wrap this up. Now, in our ancient Egyptian judges, here we go. In ancient Egypt, all your judges, all your political people, all have those connected with the judicial system. What's this? Were initiated into the teachings of Ma'at. Judges were priests of Ma'at. That means you had to practice right thinking philosophy. Thus, those who would discharge the laws, the same who discharged right now, he's the same one that broke the damn law. How the hell could that happen? Those who would discharge the laws and regulations of society were what? Well trained in ethical, right there. Ethics and moral and spiritual, mystical values of life. He don't have a damn clue about none of that. These principles, and what they are, what's this? These principles include what? Application of justice and the responsibility to serve and promote harmony where in society, as well as the what? The possibility for spiritual development in any atmosphere or freedom of speech or peace, for only when there is justice where? In fairness where? In society. Not white America, because that's what we got right here. And watch this. Fairness and justice society. Can there be abiding harmony and peace with those qualities? We don't have none of that. Wrapping it up with this concept. I see the clock. I got to shorten this one. I'm pissed off. Harmony. That means things coming together, opposites, black and white come together. That ain't happening. That ain't happening. Harmony and peace are necessary. Watch this. If we don't have that, we're not going to reach the level of what? Coming together as one and working in harmony. We ain't going to reach that level. We ain't going with the rhetoric, with the nonsense and the ignorance. Ain't going to happen in society. So how about we as a people put it together and start there? Simple. I did. Start with me. And watch this. For the pursuit of true happiness and inner fulfillment in your own personal life, that's what you should make it personal. To do just that for yourself. Why? Don't worry about what somebody else is doing or ain't doing. That's on them. Watch this. So the opposite of living Ma'at, which is righteousness and virtue, is what they call in Ma'at. Unrighteousness. Or they got a name for that. How about that? Isfet. Look that up. I-S-F-E-T. It's Itfet. That's the opposite of Ma'at. That's her counterpart. Isfet, Ma'at. Chaos, order. See? Don't need a man, or it's a male, because it's Itfet, male concept, but it ain't because they together. No, they ain't gonna make nothing together. That's why the ego ain't compatible to nothing. It don't make nothing. It can't reproduce. It's a unique, one-of-a-kind entity. We knew that. Y'all called him devil. We knew it as Isfet. Chaos. We know it now as y'all call him president. I don't recognize him as the president. I understand that. I'm in straight denial of that nonsense, but excuse me. Next one. Appendix number 4. See, this is all about Ma'at. Okay. See that page right there? All those signs and symbols, those are words that signify what Ma'at represent. Okay. She covered pretty much everything. All right. See it with the bandana? See it with the feather? Don't move. That feather represents God, Netter. Okay, that means she's a god. On this page, I'm going to show you where the Greeks stole the concept. You see on the right, you see scales of Mayat? Okay? You see that gate on the left? That's Greek's concept of thymus. Okay? She just sword in her hand. That's the Christians use when they said, what are you going to be? A Christian, you want to go to Ra or you want to go whatever? But they threaten everybody with death with the sword. The eagle, from American bald eagle, he got talents. He got arrows in his talons. The eagle from Egypt, falcon, he got shin. That means eternity. That's life. He had ankhs in his talons. Different concept, and they violent people, okay? They come, watch this, that's the appendix, Mayat and thymus. Quick lesson, an important correlation, they call it correlation, I call it stealing, and can be found between the goddess of righteousness and justice, aka Mayat, we knew that, everybody knew that, of Egypt, but the goddess, and she's the goddess of divine justice. That means you're going to get dealt with just. You're going to get just with fair. You're going to be dealt with in all earnest. With the scales of thymus, or Austria, they called it in Greece, you're going to be dealt with what? Harshly. Okay, if you don't match up to their standards, off with your head. And they complained when the Arabs did it. Y'all did the same thing. See, with history, you know what happened through different cultures. The Egyptians were the starters. Everybody else took bits and pieces, which is fine, and did their own thing. Okay, I ain't got a problem with that. That's what happened. But you see here above, on the left, you saw the goddess Mayat. She presides over what? The balance of the scales. She becomes the scales. While she gonna give you a fair shot, that's her job. Fairness, okay? Above to the right, you got the goddess Astrea, or they call it thymus, of the Greeks, presiding over the balanced scales of justice with a sword in her hand. And the scales, you see, they ain't even balanced. They look a little tilted. And that's why in America, everything is tilted to the white man. So the black man, white man, scales a little imbalanced. It ain't there. Just making a point. That's the lesson. Moving on, wrapping it up. Now, let's get to what I call the appendix number 5. The summary of Mayat philosophy. I think I'm going to wrap the lesson up. I'm going to finish this up by itself, because this could become a whole lesson here. I see the time. But I'm going to take you to wrap this one up and take you here next. Right, 1 second. I'll just shorten this lesson, okay? Right thinkers, may you all live to be 100, me, 100 minus a day. So I never let my right thinkers have passed away. And remember, Mayat philosophy followers, we don't die, we multiply.